All right, now what we do know is that Zambia has a new president. Hello and welcome to Smart 24 TV. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. Now do get us on Facebook at Smart 24 TV, and on Twitter at Smart 24 TV, on Instagram at Smart 24 TV. Now all that we know that Zambia's opposition leader Hichilema walked away with that particular election when it comes to the presidential votes in Zambia, winning the incumbent, His Excellency Lungu, over there in Zambia. It is actually new dawns in Zambia when it comes to the elections, when it comes to new government, as well as we also look into the insight of what is happening politically in Africa and also other aspects of life. A quick one. Also, Kenya will be deciding when it comes to the elections come 2022, and as Kenyans also going to be giving us whether they will be having a new president. Okay, it's quite definite for Kenya because they will be having a new president with the fact that Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta will not be returning to the ballot in the particular polls of Kenya. So will it be Raila Odinga, or will it be the main man, the current deputy of President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is William Ruto over there in Kenya? But what we do understand, with 156 constituencies reporting, official results showed that Hichilema had captured a landslide of 2,180,757 votes, which means if at all we are closing up on the gap, that is when it comes to the elections in Africa, you would definitely tell that a number of elections in the country of Zambia were going to the opposition side. It is actually quite tricky in African elections, where you would find out that the opposition would definitely find a very, very big issue when it comes to winning an election, more so when the incumbent is among the participants. We do wait and see whether the incumbent will accept the results coming up from that particular election. And as we do understand now that he has apparently lost it in terms of the votes that were casted. Meanwhile, I'm Jerome Paul Sonko on Twitter, Jerome Paul Sonko on Facebook, Jerome Paul Sonko on Instagram as well. Get us on our website at www.smart24tv.com. Also get us on YouTube at Smart24 TV. Do hit the subscription button. Make sure you hit it. And like, comment, share, as well as subscribing to that particular YouTube channel. And also today it be and also among the things that we'll be mentioning out on a day like this is the fact that Africans are actually in a move to live with the pandemic, not only with the pandemic, but trying to live with the new ways of life. Innovations coming in from country this, country that, and also innovations strengthening the entrepreneurial skills of African leaders. Not only the African leaders, the governments as well. We look at the young children that we are actually helping out, that are actually helping out their governments to come up and win that particular one. Now, with the fact that Kenya is set to go into the polls late this particular year, with Zambia concluding with those elections, one would still ask, what would happen if for instance, a number of people asking in East African, mainly the East African countries, do you think maybe Uganda, personally, what would be the atmosphere once we have a new president? We will not be, once we have a new president. The question will be, because we are used to the situation of being under the same NRM government, and we would definitely be waiting to anticipate and say maybe in the next 10 years or next 15 years, will there be some change in government? Because you could see in African countries, a number of governments are being changed, a number of people having illusions, and a number of Ugandans coming out and saying, wow, countries are changing governments, what is happening to us? But clearly, you could definitely see that the government is still on a steady move as when it comes to the Ugandan government, with its new aim of saying, we are securing your future. So clearly, if you want your future to be cleared, you're supposed to definitely keep on choosing the government that we're having now, which is the NRM government. But nevertheless, with our neighbors Kenya, a number of issues are happening when it comes to the because when we speak about Kenya, we mention violence, also the post-election violence. That was one of the key issues, the key factors as why most of the East African countries, that is the East African community countries, were actually scared to turn their tables from Mombasa in Kenya down down to Dar es Salaam to actually start getting the imports and also using the channel for their exportation. Reason being, they have to first get to adapt to that incident, to that particular side of East Africa. Because with Kenya, one would definitely be cautious, or someone is a bit cautious when it comes to the elections. Reason being that Kenya has been having a very big, very huge record when it comes to post-election violence, and most of the presidents in the East African community are worried about whether their countries can actually sustain it when Kenya, in case, God forbid, in case Kenya heads into the post-election violence. But here on Smart 24 TV, we'll definitely be giving you more when it comes to that. More so in the business aspect of life, regarding what Kenya has to offer to the Ugandan economy. We've certainly seen the impact of the Mombasa port when it comes to our imports, when it comes to our exports. So you could definitely see that without the Mombasa port, maybe Uganda will greatly be affected when it comes to that. Because I do remember in 2007 when Kenya had the post-election violence, we had even sugar prices shooting up. We had a number of prices, there was quite inflation in the country, a very high inflation, as prices were easily getting to a higher rate. So we definitely be scared when it comes to the elections, because you never know. In African countries, until the election is done or until the president is sworn, there is literally a tension mood or an atmosphere in the country. The atmosphere is a bit unfriendly normally, because no one knows about that. Because now with also the prevailing conditions in Afghanistan over there in the Middle East, you could definitely tell that a number of incidents are happening across the world when it comes to the violence there, and also in charge when it comes to the changing of governments in different countries. Now in Afghanistan, the rebels are also looking to overthrow, actually did overthrow the government, and they want new eras. You could see that a number of cases that have come out, including death of people, as a number of people running out of the country to make sure that they find another country so that they actually find refuge. You could see if such things do happen in Africa, and this happens when it comes to a war-torn country, first of all, it does affect the economy. Well, not only the economy, it is affecting the stability of the country politically. And it's affecting the country politically. The instability in the country is greatly not going to give room for an economic upgrade in any country. Reason, if a country is under political instabilities, attacks here and there, people's shops are going to be destroyed. We did see cases in South Africa where there was looting, and a number of business people did lose their jobs. A number of business people losing their jobs, losing their sources of income, losing their entrepreneurship basis, because someone comes up and sets up a company, and then someone out of the blue comes out and loots that particular thing. It is like someone looting your sweat, and then after what you've been sweating from day one when you started your business. We keep on telling you, wake up in the morning and have aspirations. Do not look into a situation where you're supposed to say, I'm supposed to go and look up to these, I'm supposed to look in an angle of you understand that line. It is all about you waking up in the morning and understand that you have a goal, you have a vision to wake up and change a life of others. Not only changing the life of others, but also changing your particular life. Making sure that at least when you're waking up, you have your goal, you have your vision. That means a new day means new dawns for you, new aspiration as well. Not looking into someone's picture and trying to say, let me go and loot someone's business, let me go and steal something from someone, or let me go and cause mayhem to someone's business and maybe try to see that I earn a living from the wealth of someone else. Not only from the wealth of someone else, but at the expense of the other person. Because what you're stealing from is a business of someone who is surviving from that particular business. And in most cases, such businesses are also giving room for employment opportunities to the others. It is actually a cycle that we will definitely see that it's boosting an economy at all costs. Because with that particular one, boosting an economy, it is giving revenue to the government, it is creating sectors for it in Uganda as well. And only in Uganda, but among the countries we're definitely seeing. But thank you for joining Smart 24 TV. We definitely be giving you all when it comes to business news across the continent and across Uganda. As we give you all the tips when it comes to the business mind, we give you an analysis, in-depth analysis. We give you exclusive interviews from the business perspective to see where and which avenue you choose when it comes to any business sector in the world or in Uganda as well. And if at all you do have business and you definitely want to advertise with us, we are available here at plot 29A Commercial Road in Naguru. Bring your businesses, let us drive those businesses for you as we definitely show you and give you morale and boost it to direct you to the customer, to the final consumer. That is definitely going to give you a room of wide coverage, not only at Smart 24, but to all the viewers across the country, because we reach a wide range of scoop. We're also streaming live on YouTube. So definitely to all our viewers, wherever you are overseas, thank you for joining us. This is Smart 24 TV. Just a quick reminder, on Twitter, we are Smart 24 TV. On Facebook, we are Smart 24 TV. On Instagram, we are Smart 24 TV. And I am Jerome Paul Sonko. That is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well. But meanwhile, before we even dig into stories and what is happening or giving us, what is trending when it comes to the economic aspect, the political aspect, or even the social aspect of it, you can also give us your feedback or your views when it comes to what is happening in your societies and what should we do to help you out, to reach out to you, because we are reaching out to the community. We're a community-based television station. We are the best in television, in business television, if I'm to put it right. And if you want us to bring your businesses closer to the people, you definitely know how to get it. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. Meanwhile, now we do take a short break. When we do return, we come back with the top stories that are making headlines locally and also internationally. Keep it Smart 24. Smart 24, driving business. All right, Smart Means Business. I'm Jerome Paul Sanko, and we are on Facebook at Smart24TV, Twitter at Smart24TV, and Instagram at Smart24TV. Now, what about if we do head into what is making headlines across the country and also across the globe in terms of the news headlines there? Now, we do start with the growth of online business has picked up pace during the lockdown as more people attempt to access goods and services amidst transport restrictions. Now, the online digital-based companies discovered an opportunity to earn more by delivering products at the doorsteps. Now, the players range from individual traders to national and multinational companies like Amazon. Now, Bahati Ali reports.
Uganda is currently experiencing a boom in online shopping. Unfortunately, this growth has been somewhat stunted by the many challenges that come with online shopping. This is not only a major problem in Uganda, but almost everywhere in Africa. Uganda's internet penetration is not yet at a stage which favors electronic commerce business. Internet shutdown and also unreliable internet due to various reasons affects online shopping. If one does not have a stable and reliable internet connection, placing an order online will be a very big challenging task.
Very big effect on companies like ours because being an online company, we depend solely on the internet. So of course there was a loss of revenue. Customers were unable to receive their items. On our end, we were unable to track items that were out for delivery, even receiving money. Basically, all our system was shut down. So it had such a huge effect. Facebook, unfortunately, is also still down, and it also has a big impact on a business like ours because Facebook is a very big customer acquisition channel. We use Facebook to reach out to customers, run ads on Facebook, and get new customers and existing customers. So we're still feeling the pinch from Facebook. Of course, we have other social media channels where we advertise, but Facebook still plays a big role in a company like ours. So what we are doing as an organization, we have partnered with other e-commerce companies like Self-Border to try and appeal to the government to lift the Facebook ban because businesses like ours are struggling in regards to acquiring new customers. Because again, we are online and we reach customers through digital platforms like Facebook.
Today's online shoppers expect an easy, low-friction shopping experience, and a growing number of them are making purchases on their smartphones. As electronic commerce shopping gaining popularity, mobile payments fraud is rising too. To protect revenue and keep customers happy, merchants must understand that electronic payment fraud prevention requires a different approach.
Integrate mobile money, so MTN mobile money and Airtel money. So for example, if you're at checkout and you choose mobile money, once you just put in your PIN immediately and the money is removed, right? No extra charge, no extra fee. So we partner directly with MTN and Airtel to make sure their payments are already integrated onto our platform. And it's the same thing with Visa and MasterCard. We partnered with the bank we use right now is EcoBank. So we partnered with them to also integrate their Visa payments onto our platform. That way there's no middleman, so it reduces the risk of theft and people being cheated or extra charges. So that's how we work. We work closely with payment platforms and payment partners to integrate their payments directly onto our system.
Customer expectations have been steadily rising in line with the growth of online shopping business. The online shops have developed a tendency of dealing with vendors to ensure customer satisfaction. Shopaholics have created a want-it-now environment, and if online retailers cannot meet these expectations, they won't be able to keep up with their competitors from around the globe.
Is in some cases we get products directly from the vendors. So for example, the products you see in this warehouse are items the vendors have dropped off here. So by dropping off the items here, when a customer places an order, we're able to process their order and push it out as fast as possible, compared to the previous method where Customer places an order, then the vendor gets a notification, then the vendor has to get transported, bring it here. That's already slowing down the process. So what we're trying to do is collaborate with our vendors to make sure their products are already here in the warehouse so that we're able to push it out much faster.
Shopping online isn't just convenient, but it gives you more rights too. If you buy something in a shop, you only have the legal right to return if it is faulty. But you can send back online purchases if you simply change your mind. Whether you are shopping online or in store, you could find yourself with faulty goods, or it could be that you simply change your mind. Either way, you will want to know your rights when asking for a refund.
In that instance, like if the customer chooses to cancel, we bring back the item to our warehouse and we refund the customer. Or in a situation where, let's say you buy a pair of shoes and they don't fit, or you're not happy with the style or the color, we also have an option for our customers to return the product. We give them back their money, and then they can either purchase another item or they can stay with the money either way. So, but what we do, we never want our customers to feel tied to our product. So we give them that option of, if you change your mind, if you're not happy with the product, you can return it to us and we can give you back your money.
Majority of online products manufacturers do not have a system to sustain quality control. Individuals or companies might be able to produce small quantities, and when they advertise, they get overwhelmed. The quality of products could immediately go down or be compromised.
BS to make sure that they are up to standard, because at the same time we don't want to give our consumers fake products and products that could potentially harm them. So it's very important that for especially products that are very sensitive like that we ensure there's quality and that they are certified.
With increasing competition in online business, good customer service have become core to companies' success. But delivering quality products alongside outstanding customer service is a big challenge. One of the most overlooked areas of the customer experience and satisfaction is in pricing and goods quality and timely delivery. Customer experience is very important, especially when purchasing goods online.
One of them is delivery time. That you expect a product to come within 2 days and then it takes a week. Or sometimes you want it immediately and you can't go off the app to tell the person, the owner of the shop, that can you deliver this now instead of me waiting for 2 days? Because in most cases you feel like it is not really supposed to be there. If someone is downtown and I'm in Chisasi, they should be able to take like maybe 10 minutes to put it on a border.
The rise of online shopping has been accelerated by COVID-19 pandemic. It has seen physical business stores shift online, with businesses set up websites, social media pages, and building customized applications, while concerns about low service standards still loom. Online sellers should be more careful about breaching product and services standards, fronting the use of trusted global manufacturers and distributors. In order to increase sales, online companies need to have the right products at the right price and ensure they are top of mind when the customer is ready to make a purchase. Aside from customers already having you in mind, when they need something and feeling positive about your product, your website plays a big part in how many sales you will make. Bahati Ali, Smart 24 TV.
All right, now talking about an evolving world when it comes to innovations, you never go short of online businesses that you definitely see. You never go wrong when it comes to Uganda. You mentioned Jumia, Glovo, whatever you, Surfboarders, all the apps on the smartphones that we definitely have, reaching onto businesses as regards to whether the country is ready for a transition. You definitely tell that the atmosphere or the reception of the online businesses has actually been a tremendous one, and most of the clients in Uganda and most of the people are already adapting to the current situation. Now, with online digital based companies, you can actually discover the ability that there is delivery on board by using your smartphone easily. Everything that's come on a tip to toe. I would definitely suggest that if at all we are actually watching the show right now, you would definitely sit in the comfort of your home, try out to deliver something using your online app. You would definitely see how easy life is when it comes to using the online platforms. Now, we do mention the fact that a number of products those steps are coming up with that in terms of delivery, because with the online platform you have an idea. It's always doing your things systematically using your smartphone. We've been wondering, how do we turn our businesses into the smartphones? It's a lot of new innovations when it comes to that, and you could definitely tell that a number of businesses are actually turning to the online business as well. Now, if I told you a business person and you're an entrepreneur, this is quickly a way to go for you. You definitely have to switch to online. We are into a digital world and new digital aspirations, so definitely all people are definitely set to embrace online businesses. Now, right now, let's move on. And now, after just concluded International Youth Day celebrations that were held last week, we head into a story where the Executive Director of African Youth Development Link, Martin Wanzala, has called upon the youth to engage favorably in the matters regarding national affairs through looking up to the organization. Take a look. We'll be back.
Uganda's young people are the future of the country that seems to have the biggest percentage of her population as the youth. With the just concluded International Youth Day celebrations, we look up the African Youth Development Link, an organization mobilizing young people in Uganda.
Primarily provide a link between young people and the different development policy processes or decision-making processes, because we go by the motto that nothing should be done about us without us. Each and every time that happens, it means someone is planning for themselves while masquerading that they're planning for you. And so we've tried as much as possible to create to enable young people to get access to the information they need to make the right decision, and then two, or to even participate in the decision-making processes, including the budget processes at local and national level. And then apart from awareness raising, we also do research to discover the different challenges, the different opportunities, the different gaps that can be addressed, the different opportunities that young people can take advantage of, develop themselves, or even to make again the right decision that takes them from one level to another. And then lastly, we create spaces for young people to engage. But before we do that, we empower them with the skills that they need to engage: public speaking, communication, negotiation, and all those. And then after that, we create spaces for young people.
With the National Youth Manifesto, the organization creates room for advocacy for the youth to engage in national matters, including the national budget.
We do a bit of skilling, but the skilling to enable this person to advocate for themselves. Because it's not enough for me to come and speak for you. It is important that you get to the table and speak for yourself, because I believe that's more important. And then also creating the space that I talked about. One of the programs that we have been doing, especially that touches the core of the livelihood of young people, is what we call the National Youth Manifesto. The National Youth Manifesto is spearheaded not by only us as an organization, but we, first of all, we pride in collaborating and partnering with like-minded entities, both non-profit and profit, and even both private and public. And so the manifesto is a tool that we use for continuous engagement, for continuous advocacy. Now, when someone hears the name manifesto, they think, okay, this is a political document. It's not political per se. It's simply a collection of demands. Some call them demands. I like calling them ideas that young people feel if the government worked on, it would make life better for everybody. And so the manifesto has those ideas, and we categorize them under 5 different thematic areas. One of the key areas being unemployment. and so, or youth employment for that matter.
Joram Paul Sonko, Smart 24 TV.
Right, the Executive Director of African Youth Development, Link Martin Wanzela, calls upon new youth out there to youth favorably. You need to definitely engage in national matters. Now, regarding the political aspect, where most of you do put a hand or two when it comes to that particular cases, but also to the national budget, the economic part of the country, you should also engage more favorably to at least make sure you know what is happening in the country, and it's actually going to benefit you more as the youth out there. But you actually look up to the particular organization there to give you advocacy, room for advocacy, for you to air out your concerns to the government. Now, all right, moving on. Now, data contained in the Ministry of Finance Microeconomic Development Report for the period ended June indicates that the employment had been constrained by the second wave of COVID-19. Now, this therefore does indicate a reduction in formal employment from 714,048 employees in May to 653,066 employees in June. It's quite a huge number when it comes to almost 100,000 people are left unemployed. Let's have a look at this particular story. We'll be right back.
At least 60,982 jobs were wiped out in just 1 month due to a strained business environment due to COVID-19 disruptions before government announced a second lockdown in June. Data from the Ministry of Finance Microeconomic Development ended June indicates that employment had been constrained by the second wave of COVID-19. However, expanding decent employment in the immediate and long term can be an important factor in Uganda's ability to achieve the sustainable development goals, and it also has implications for ending poverty. Therefore, a reduction in the formal employment from 714,048 employees in May to 653,066 in June 2021 is a total blow to the country. Smart 24 TV, Pedson Mumbere.
All right, now you could definitely tell what is happening in the country when it comes to COVID-19 restricting a number of people there. And when we do look at the incidents in the country and also giving room to where employees are left, what does this leave 100,000 people who were left jobless courtesy of COVID-19? The government is here to come out and address the particular issue because we've seen the constraints that have come up with the economy, an economy that is trying to rejuvenate the number of people losing jobs in the country, and which is quite worrying because in a period of May to June, losing over 100 jobs and employment opportunities because we've seen companies laying off their employees simply because they want to overcome the debt and also they want to overcome the salary increments as well. Now, a quick one, and also we could definitely see that if at all the country can actually come back from this particular region or come back from this slap of the COVID-19 lockdown, we could definitely see a rejuvenating economy, or we'll definitely see new entrepreneurs from the 100,000 people. That means most of them are changing line of business or looking for new angles to actually earn incomes. Now, speaking of money, the Centenary Bank defends its controversial 600 charge on every account balance inquiry using their Centenary app. Now, this comes after Ugandans complained as to why they are being charged for just checking their balance on their accounts. Let's have a look at this story.
Centenary Bank has spoken out on the controversial 600 charge on balance inquiry, saying the cost was put in place to help the bank roll out mobile phone banking, and there are no plans to end the transaction charge anytime soon. However, a section of angry Ugandans seems to have rejected this statement, with some saying the statement had too much English, yet full of nothing. In a statement issued by the bank's management, this makes the bank able to cover the cost of running service, pay their ecosystem partners, as well as continue offering a great service to their middle and high-end clients who have already embraced the solution.
All right, Twitter. This particular story got Twitter buzzing last week on why a bank that was once known Eyomontua Wansi has become Eyomontua Guru in terms of how does the bank actually benefit. One Twitter user, or a tweep, if I am to put it in that way, came out and stated the fact that why does Centenary have to use this direct motive to actually go and directly remove money from the Ugandans instead of going into an indirect option where they can definitely get money in an easier way without showing the people, or without a clear showdown of how Ugandans are actually suffering in terms of this particular 600 shillings in just a balanced inquiry. However, Centenary Bank did come back with a statement claiming that with this particular money, it is helping them facilitate this particular services when it comes to the online this particular online banking, and also using the Centenary app, which is using mobile money accounts as well with MTN, Airtel, and a number of other telecommunication companies there. So we'll definitely keep you updated when it comes to that particular story in all aspects. And then Centenary Bank is still in the eyes of the people regarding that particular one. Now, the president on Saturday did mention something about Emyooga funds. We do head to members of parliament now from Chotera district who have questioned the criteria under which more than 1 billion under Emyooga was spent. Now, this comes after the regional MPs realized that even SACCOs in the areas that received this fund were not duly registered. Take a look.
It has emerged out that 18 SACCOs in Chotera County received 560 million, which was shared amongst 1,036 associations with 1,909 people, and 17 SACCOs in Kakuto got 530 million, which was shared amongst 1,001 associations with a total of 433 people. Statements from the area MPs explains that most of the associations and SACCOs to which they subscribe to do not have a uniform venture, which affects the actual instance of the Emyooga scheme. They therefore intend to question different village chairpersons to establish whether they took a step to know the people who are registered in the association before the money was released. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 2040.
All right, Emyooga, Jifuse Emyooga. You could definitely say that the government is actually, laying foundations for the youth or many people to receive what we call the emergence funds or stimulus packages in that particular angle. But the biggest claim from members of parliament, mainly also in Chotera, are questioning the criteria because 1 billion Ugandan shillings were misallocated when it comes to the segments or the people who were supposed to receive it. Was it even enough? It will definitely be a question for another day, because if 1 billion Ugandan shillings cannot cater for Ugandans, if I am to put it right. Now, meanwhile, still in monetary terms, we're business side. Now, the Bank of Uganda Monetary Fund policy statement for August 2021 has revealed that the Ugandan economy is not set to recover soon as the second wave of COVID-19 appears to have hit the economy severely and dim prospects for a quick recovery. Take a look.
The Bank of Uganda Monetary Policy Statement for August 2021 reveals that the extent to which the second wave of COVID-19 and its associated containment measures have interrupted early economic recovery momentum following the first wave. The Bank of Uganda now projects that the economic growth is unlikely to recover quickly and will range between 3.5% to 4% in the financial year 2021-2022.
High-frequency indicators of economic activity indicate that the momentum of economic activity for the quarter to July 2021 has subsided. The COVID-19 restrictive measures that remain in place will continue to weigh on economic activity, with economic growth projected in the range of 3.5% to 4.0%.
Based on that, Bank of Uganda projects that the 6 to 7% growth rates averaged in the past by the Uganda economy will perhaps be possible again only in the financial year 2024 to 2025. The statement is the first major economic outlook publication by the central bank since President Yoweri Museveni on July 30th eased lockdown restrictions that he imposed in early June for 42 days. Smart 24.
Now, the economy is trying so much to rejuvenate itself, but statements coming in from the Bank of Uganda clearly giving a room of haunting, or should I put it in that way, because most of the Ugandans are now more worried about whether they are ready for that incident when it comes to trying to rejuvenate an economy. We've just had a story where over 100,000 people did lose jobs in a period of only 1 month, that is in May to June, prior to the 42-day lockdown, and you could definitely tell how the economy is steadily which is exactly steadily trying to rejuvenate its particular according to the country, and the economy is in a state of rejuvenation, and we are still trying. We never know by the end of the financial year where will the country be. Now, meanwhile, why don't we head into sport now, as the Express FC wins both on the pitch and in the bank when it comes to that one, but we'll be definitely giving you more on that after the break when it comes to the sport part of it. And meanwhile, with the Bank of Uganda monetary policy statement that was of August 2021, the Ugandan economy is not set to recover as of now, because the second wave clearly hit wide. We would say we did lose a number of people in the private sector, big names in the business part of Uganda, and also we're greatly seeing some improvements here and there, but the economy is still trying to rejuvenate itself from the taxes that the government still wants. And you could see a number of traders out there sending in their complaints to the government to at least give them a hand or a helping hand when it comes to that particular one. But meanwhile, why don't we take a short break? We'll do return with more stories here. Good morning.
Smart 24, driving business.
All right, now to sports now. Sports business. This is SMB Paul Sanko. Now we do start with Express FC. Courtesy of their win in Tanzania following the CECAFA Kagame Cup triumph, Express FC did not only win only on the pitch. Surprisingly, it also won big in the bank or in their bag. Let's take a look at that particular story.
Mukwano Kwabanji, Express FC became the new CECAFA Kagame Cup champions after defeating Nyasa Big Bullets of Malawi in the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium on Saturday. A 21st-minute strike from Martin Kiza made sure that the Red Eagles add the second trophy to their cabinet following the Uganda Premier League triumph in the middle of the lockdown. This means Express will now take home a cash prize of $30,000, which is worth 106 million Ugandan shillings. While runners KMKM, who defeated Azam FC 1-0 in the third playoff, will receive $20,000, which is 70 million Ugandan shillings. And lastly, Azam will walk away with $10,000, approximately 35 million Ugandan shillings. Meanwhile, Express FC players and officials will also receive $25,000 from FUFA as a token of appreciation. This means out of 21 players and 4 officials, each will walk away with $1,000. The CECAFA Kagame Cup is the oldest cup competition on the continent as it brings together club teams from Burundi, South Sudan, Uganda, Tanzania and Zanzibar, among others.
What he does here, everybody going down as the captain will be hoisting the title. Express Football Club are looking to be hoisting this trophy right now. Congratulations, Express.
What can $30,000 do for you if you are a football club owner? That's a question I will definitely leave to you. That is roughly 106 million US. That is 106 million Ugandan shillings. The $30,000 there that Express FC managed to bank into their bank or into their safe or into their piggy bank, if I am to put it in that way. If you only have a kabox kaka carton, no game tournament is try to nyangao no vayo name $100. It could definitely change a lot when it comes to that. Express FC did return to the country yesterday, and they were welcomed by the club chairperson, that is Mr. Chiriowa Chiwanuka KK, and a huge crowd at the international airport in Entebbe there to actually welcome them back. And we also anticipate that we wait for FUFA to hand over $25,000 to the 21 players and the 4 officials, making it a sum of 1,000 each for each player and each official, definitely. But again, kudos to Express FC for winning and making Uganda proud, and also congratulations to them for making sure that they bank some money in these harsh times of the pandemic. All right, now switching to Europe now, where Barcelona is still in the news as Barcelona's debt has hit up to 1.15 billion as Joan Laporta slams Josep Maria Bartomeu again, claiming this is part of his mismanagement of the club. Take a look at the story.
In a 2-hour press conference, Barcelona president Joan Laporta highlighted the club is worrying debt, blamed the club's dramatic situation on Lionel Messi's departure, stated salaries represent 103% of the club's income, and hit out at Josep Maria Bartomeu. Laporta blamed his predecessor Josep Bartomeu for a terrible inheritance, which he says sees club salaries representing 103% of income at the Nou Camp. He blamed the club's dramatic situation on Lionel Messi's departure and insisted that Bartomeu and his board of directors must be held accountable. Laporta, in his second spell as club president after winning the 2021 elections earlier this year, said at a live press conference that the salaries representing 103% of the club's total income add up to 20 to 25% more than their competitors. On the official Twitter hand of Barcelona, Bartomeu wrote, "The first thing we had to do when we did arrive was to ask for a loan of £80 million, because otherwise we could not pay the salaries. The previous regime was full of lies. Now our salaries represent 103% of the club's total income, which is up to 20 to 25% more than our."
All right, now, salaries of Barcelona as it stands represents 103% of the club's total income. 103%. That is a sugar for a big club like FC Barcelona, and that is roughly 20 to 25% more than their competitors. That is according to the club statements. Before even the game on Sunday, where Barcelona did win 4-2 against Real Sociedad, stories after quick reports that were coming up towards the game was Geraldo Piqué did have to actually apply for a cut in his salary, where they had to pay him halfway to enable Barcelona make sure that they can easily register 3 Barca players who also include Memphis Depay. So Gerald Piqué there becoming the hero in the Barcelona taps there, and also he was actually the player who made sure they get their first La Liga goal this particular season. Off to England now. Arsenal, following the particular loss to Bradford, that caused a number of criticisms from the supporters, and also a number of sports pundits coming out to blame the management of the team, from the board to the coach. Arsenal now makes sponsorship decision following the controversial comments from Rwanda's president Paul Kagame. Let's have a look at that.
Arsenal have renewed their sleeve sponsorship deal with Visit Rwanda, as Smart Sports understands. The Gunners signed a 3-year sponsorship deal in 2018 worth more than £30 million, with the Visit Rwanda logo displayed on Arsenal shirt sleeves. The Gunners, with the 3-year deal in 2018, is now set to be extended, as the new 4-year deal will run until 2025, and Smart Sports understands that it's worth up to £10 million a year. However, some have leveled criticisms at the deal, suggesting that it is an example of an authoritarian government subsidizing a wealthy football club. Now, Rwanda's president Paul Kagame has previously been outspoken on Arsenal via social media, coming out to criticize owner Stan Kroenke, with his most recent rant coming after the Ghana's opening Premier League game of the season defeat to Bradford. As part of the partnership, Arsenal players from the men's and women's teams have visited Rwanda, and club coaches have hosted coaching camps to support the development of the game for boys and girls in the country. Rwanda's tourist board also sponsors Paris Saint-Germain, promoting the Visit Rwanda slogan on its women's team, men's training kit, and in the club.
Business, politics, drama. Paul Kagame there, His Excellency Paul Kagame, the man behind Rwanda's, the leader behind Rwanda, definitely the president of Rwanda, the land of 1,000 hills, did have a number of comments to lay down after Arsenal's loss to Bradford over the weekend. That was on Friday Night Football, when he actually came out and said the progress actually is taking time to come. Change is actually taking time to come. He did have his say, because he's one of the sponsors there, and with this particular deal that is ending this particular year, which was actually earning, made sure that Arsenal were earning more than £3 million per year for that sleeve signature that you see with the Visit Rwanda. Now, meanwhile, the new contract, which is worth 4 years extension, will see the Gunners earn more than £10 million a year. That is courtesy of that particular deal of Visit Rwanda. Now, a quick note as well, and the Rwanda's tourist board also sponsors Paris Saint-Germain, which promotes the Visit Rwanda slogan on its women's team's kit, the men's training kit, and in the club's stadium. Definitely there, as you could see, that Rwanda's tourism is booming, not only on the parts of sport, but also regarding the limit all that it has, and how much potential Rwanda has a country regarding their tourism industry there. Right now, that brings us to the end of the sport that we had this particular hour. All right, there. Now we do head into a short break. We do return.
Smart 24, driving business.
All right, now Smart Means Business does continue. Now, a long lockdown in Uganda is helping to make COVID-19 case numbers fall, but livelihoods are suffering at that particular expense. Now, the government has come up with an innovative way to help out. The government came up with several measures, including stopping people from accessing Kampala Business Center, but they couldn't stay, for they were looking forward to it. Now, Petson Mumbere did connect all the dots right away from Wuhan, China, where COVID started up, to Uganda. Take a look.
Coronavirus outbreak is killing people.
The novel virus was identified in Wuhan, China in December 2019. A lockdown in Wuhan and other cities in Hubei province failed to contain the outbreak. The World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern on 30th January 2020 and a pandemic on 11th March 2020. Since 2021, variants of the virus have resulted in further waves in several countries, with the Delta, Alpha and Beta variants being the most common. As of 28th July 2021, more than 195 million cases have been confirmed, with more than 4.17 million confirmed deaths attributed to COVID-19 pandemic, making it one of the deadliest pandemics in history.
The ability of this strain to impact or infect other people faster was much higher than the first wave.
On March, the first case of COVID-19 in Uganda was confirmed. The confirmed case was a 36-year-old male who had traveled to Dubai on 17th March 2020 for a business trip. On returning to Uganda, he was confirmed sick, and other 8 cases were confirmed by the Minister of Health on 24th March.
That Uganda has confirmed her first case of coronavirus disease, COVID-19. The confirmed case is a 36-year-old Ugandan male who arrived from Dubai today morning, Saturday 21st March at 2 a.m. aboard Ethiopian Airlines.
In his address of the 18th March 2020, President Museveni put out 13 actions that dealt with the pandemic as well as other associated matters. Among the 13 measures were the closure of the educational institutions, which accounted for 15 million young Ugandans. He as well suspended communal prayers in mosques, churches, or in stadiums and other open-air venues, as well as imposing a curfew, among others.
mu buyumba eyo munda eyo mu muzigo awo akabi wekali singa omuntu asigala singa avira mu motoka eri walako n'atambula.
Uganda is now dealing with 5 different coronavirus variants that have fueled aggressive transmission as the country suffers the second wave of the pandemic.
The situation is dire. We are officially having what we would refer to as a second COVID wave. So we are admitting lots of patients who are critically ill. First of all, there's the rate of number of cases that we are registering per day is going higher and higher. I think as per last week, I hope I have the stats right, but probably 1,000 patients tested positive.
Therefore, forced the Ugandan president, Yoweri Museveni, to announce a 14-day nationwide lockdown to prevent the further spread of the coronavirus under the latest measures. Among the measures was putting again a curfew, and all shopping malls, arcades, hardware shops, and all non-food stores except for supermarkets and pharmacies were also suspended for 14 days. Members of the public, except individuals transporting cargo, were instructed to stay home. But Ugandans couldn't sustain remaining indoors, decrying of hunger. They could therefore force themselves into the city center to work. As I was doing my journalistic duties around the city center, I landed on several roadblocks instituted by police to deny Ugandans access to the city center. I asked some of them as to why they are flocking the city center, and yet they were ordered to stay home due to the ongoing effects of the pandemic. This is what they told me.
Ekikula ekisinze nze okundeeta mu kibuga muno kyakulya n'embeera gye ndimu si nnungi. Nina abaana abo 5 tebalina yadde taata. Nze taata, nze maama nga wondaba. Abaana abo 5 kati abaana 5 ngenda tuula mu nnyumba ekirwadde kyo wekirina ng'enkimanyi.
Obuzibu bwe tuleeta mu kibuga, ekibuga ekyo bakizimbira abantu. Ate ekiriwo kyonna ffe tulina okuleetamu ebintu byekola ebiyimira kibuga. Nenze ndaba bwe tugenda ebyokulya tubijja mu kibuga, buli kimu kiri mu kibuga, kati ate batugana okugenda mu kibuga. Ffe situmanyi lwaki.
Bintu tebikyatambula byonna byafa, ate ne ssente zaagana okutuuka. Kati ebyannabbanja byafuuka bya bbanja. Lwekiraba ekintu ekyo buli omu kimuluma. Ne bakusindikira message ne ssente nga tuziriiko. Ogenda okugendayo oliko okuzira bagamba
Security personnel were staged around the city center to implement the presidential directives.
inzirusa okuva ku makya paka sawa eno sinabafuna ade n'ekikumi nze naye era nkyadduka era nenkyankeera sigenda kubonaabona.
Ugandan reinstatement of a coronavirus lockdown throughout is squeezing the ability of many Ugandans to earn a living. Street market traders are forced to bike, walk long distances, or just sleep in the marketplaces. Ugandans living in the countryside are forced to walk for long hours to get to town. The aim is to save lives. Making a living is once again a struggle for traders amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. With Uganda's first lockdown in March 2020, the government gave flour, beans to the urban poor, which many hope will be repeated. However, Ugandan Prime Minister Robin Nabbanja said are going to identify the vulnerables and send them money via their mobile accounts. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV.
All right, now Pedersen Mumbere there giving us what was actually moving about in terms of the long lockdown that we had of the 42-day in Uganda, which first did help in terms of decreasing the cases, the number of COVID-19 infections, and also the cases in Uganda as well. But however, a number of livelihoods were suffering, a number of people were suffering. We did mention in May, according to the survey, over 100,000 people did lose their jobs. That was in a period of May to June. You could remember that in June is when President Museveni did come out to send us into a 42-day lockdown. So you could see how this particular one has actually hinted or haunted the economy of Uganda and also the livelihoods of the people, as many of them are suffering. Now, joining me on SMB is none other than Rita Caballero. How are you, Rita?
I'm very fine. Good morning, Sonko, and good morning to everyone watching us. And also, you mentioned about people, over 1,000 people losing jobs, but also for the, I can see the frontline workers, it gave opportunity for them because some people had qualifications that people were sleeping on them, and then when they were calling frontline people, you know, to go help in facilities or health facilities, I mean, they responded. So, like, I can say, like, from the previous reports, I know from the Ministry of Health, at least over, I can say, 300 nurses and doctors got jobs around. So that one was also a good thing that has brought food to the table to some families.
Yes, definitely. But you could still see that a number of people had issues with the government restricting them to enter into town. Remember, the city center, that was Kampala, was locked down. And most people were not given access to it, as a number of people were actually earning something from it, from the city, going to the city, knowing that if I go to the city, I'll come back with maybe 20,000 a day or 10,000 to sustain myself and the family. Though now we have also noticed that a number of businesses have also now shifted to the outskirts of the city.
I understand, and from what we were seeing around the screen, you see that people are still bitter with the situation and how government has handled it. And they compare the empty promises, they compare a lot of things that have been happening, security handling, even though the president came out the other day to speak about security. But the public, 90%, I can say 80%, is not satisfied with what the president was addressing, and that exactly, brings concerns into the public on the way forward of how people can sustainably live to achieve development of different people. But also when you look at globally, some people like in London, some people like even India, those who were billionaires and millionaires continued to be so, and well, those who were poor remained to be poor, especially in the sub-Saharan region.
A lot of that has been happening in all economies, by the way, because now the rich are actually becoming more richer at the expense of the poor, like you did mention. All right. Now, there we do take a short break. We do return shortly. We have business tips and job maps. This is SMB.
Smart 24, driving business.
Very well, 3 minutes past 8 in the morning. You're watching Smart 24 TV and this is SMB. And right about now, this is the time where you get your notepad, notebook, pen and paper, or you can holler at a friend and say, hey, opportunities are coming right on your screen at this particular time. Jerome, what do we have for our opportunities? Number one.
All right, now, are you good in sales and customer service? This one is a particular one for you at the Ottoman International Uganda Limited. This one is in Kampala, as the candidates with strong communication skills who can make customers feel welcome in their showroom will stand out. You will help identify client needs, present and answer questions about our products and services, and recommend solutions. A minimum qualification has to be of a bachelor's degree and an experience level of 2 years. Now, the job the job description of the requirements for that particular one is you will be a direct supervisor in terms of the sales management, and you will also be in charge of the sales and customer service department. And the service coordinator recruits and trains customer service employees, manages the employee schedule, oversees daily employee interactions with customers, handles any complaints or questions, and reports to the store or company manager as necessary. So if at all you do have what it takes to do the sales and customer service duty, that is at the Ottoman International Uganda Limited. Do apply for that job, definitely. You'll get yourself a job.
Very well, we continue moving on to our job man this particular morning, where a policy advocacy and campaigns manager is needed at the Water Aid in Kampala. What do you need to know about the job? The policy advocacy and campaigns manager is responsible for providing, influencing leadership in Water Aid Uganda country program on Water Aid's ambitions to achieve the transformational change. Now, what you need to know is that you have to have the following skills around demonstrable knowledge of development policies. You have to have proven relationship management skills. That is, you'll be able to build and maintain trusting relationships, negotiate influence, and as well as resolving conflicts. Also, you have to be experienced into the leading managing and motivating others as well. The working experience around in regards to quality has not been highlighted, but I think into any related fields, that is, you could have a bachelor's, or you could also inquire when you go to their website and check out for this particular advocacy at the Water Aid. You will get to know more details about the job. But lastly, what I can highlight for you, the working hours are 8.
All right, now, Bavik Capital Management in Kampala, that is in Uganda, is looking for an associate manager. You should have a minimum qualification at the bachelor's level with a senior level 5 years of experience there. And the job brief or description is Bavik Capital Management Limited is a registered company providing credit services since 2017. The company is looking to expand into the general trade and real estate investment sectors, and it's looking for a self-driven, organized, and hardworking individual with sales experience to help grow in all these sectors. They will furthermore work within and maintain a budget while looking to enhance the company's cash flow through creating business opportunities and investments. Now, their main goal is to drive the company's development and guide it towards long-term successes. Now, before that, responsibilities that you definitely do as an associate manager. One is to develop high-quality business strategies and plans, ensuring their alignment with short-term and long-term objectives. You should also analyze problematic situations and occurrences. That is by providing solutions to ensure company survival and growth. You will also oversee all operations and business activities to ensure they produce the desired results.
Very well, and lastly from me here onto our job mat, 3 product development analysts at DFCU Bank are needed in Kampala. Let's get into it, where you have to have key accountabilities on the following. Number one is identifying customer segments with their reproductive needs. You have to participate in quality and acceptable, that is in regards to testing, and using product expertise to influence test cases. You also have to conduct research for rich insight, develop proposal, as well as working with the prototype process, and also analyzing market trend, develop sales, and also price and profitability plans for the new or existing products. Alright then, let's get into the experience that one needs to have for this particular job so that you grab it there. 1. A bachelor's degree in computer science, information technology, business computing, commerce, accounting, or business statistics, or any other related field. Surely you can be able to tap into this opportunity. Another is you have to strongly be understanding the banking operations, the fintech, and also a product development trend. Another is profession qualifications in financial services and technology. Well, another is product management. You've got to have also a 3 to 5 year relevant working experience at large financial service institutions. Okay, there are a number of qualifications, experience, and competencies around this particular opportunity, but surely you cannot walk away with being an entrepreneur mindset or having an entrepreneur mindset with an ability to work in rapid as well as interactive development environment. And that exactly brings us to the end of our job mat this morning. I hope we have been very grateful and we have been helpful towards, you know, giving your spouse, your friend,
your relative,
your daughter, your relative, and you yourself a job this particular morning. Now, coming up shortly are the business tips.
All right, then our business, Smart Means Business does continue. We do have our 100 tips and we've been driving them from number 1 to number, where we now
73rd.
No, we're the number
73rd.
we're now on number 73.
73.
I'll say number 73. Why do you want me to say
Okay,
70?
you try
okay,
it. Try it for 73rd.
73rd.
Okay, congratulations. So what do we have onto our 73rd tip? And remember, we're still counting on the top 100 business tips from top successful entrepreneurs or successful business people across the globe.
But now, right from there, 73rd business tip, we are saying get enough sleep, or actually sleep.
Okay.
As simple as that. Now, in most cases, if you want to sleep more hours than you do work, you should make sure you are sleeping at least 8 hours. However, just as you can be creative with your work hours, sleeping hours do not have to be amassed in the 8-hour blocks that we think they do. All over the world, and reports and nap times allow adults to reach their full 8 hours of shut eye and wake up feeling refreshed and refocused.
Okay, and actually they are telling you, actually sleep. I like this. Like
actually
someone
sleep.
is like in your ear sounding, someone is telling you like, actually you need to have a sleep. I think most of the people, why they're telling us to sleep, tend to, you know, do overwork.
Yeah.
Especially when you have got a target to achieve or a product timeline, I can say. So you really tend to stress up the mind, not stressing up the mind, stressing up the body, forgetting that it's the same body and mind that is going to help you out the next day to achieve what you're looking for, what you're yearning for. But how do people find sleep? You know, there are people who are used not to finding sleep. Maybe they have. And what even brings not to sleep?
That is why when I even say the 8 hours, most people even sleep lesser than the 8 hours. You find out that most people sleep for either 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours, most of the business people. And by
that's even long.
Yes.
That's long. Most business people who are used actually to, you know, working across, they sleep even for 3 hours. Someone told me sleeps for even 2 hours. But I think And then here comes the problem when the startups tend to adopt what is already existing. Like I hear Paul is sleeping for 3
hours. So that means.
So I want to be like Paul, because Paul is already there.
So I have to sleep for 3 hours. Successful businessmen have to sleep for a few hours. So, yeah.
3 to 4 hours, and then you're awake, or 3 to 3.5 hours, and then you're awake, starting to communicate to people. Because this one was telling me how they have to sleep late because they conduct business across the globe. So while people in China are awake, here we're sleeping, and then remember you have to also compete.
Favorably.
Yes, so you have to also be aware because you have to be on a Zoom meeting now.
Yeah, exactly.
How about
because now, to me, I actually think this one it will depend. This particular sleeping scenario will depend. But to anyone out there, I would guess just get enough sleep. If at all, if you rest for 4 hours and you feel after 4 hours you're refreshed, then you're good to go.
Okay.
Though do not oversleep. You know, when we sleep, you may even sleep for over 12 hours. That is too much of sleep. At least the maximum you should go to 8 hours, if it's that. But if at all you are
8 hours.
No, that is if it is really maximum. You should go 8 hours.
For me, maybe maximum from me that you should go in case you're because which people are you telling to sleep? First of all, calculate the time when they're sleeping.
No, like for instance, there's some people.
When do they go to bed?
There's some if someone goes to for instance, people who go to work for maybe at around 7. If you sleep at home at around 8 a.m. Or 9 a.m. I think by 5 in the 8 no rather 9 p.m. So I think by 5 a.m. in the morning you may be awake. By 5 in the morning.
By 5.
You may be awake. That means it's giving you room to refresh yourself.
Okay, but then you also have to consider another hour to plan your day. That is around, people wake up around 3 or 4 to actually rethink and then meditate in the morning. Because remember, we told them about meditating in the morning. That is in the morning, at least to let you have time for yourself, and also getting, to know what you can really do now.
And getting your body used to the situation. Actually, that is also bringing us to our 74th, which says meditate, eat well, and hydrate. Rita here was actually mentioning about meditation and what you should do when you're meditating. And definitely here now, 74th business tip is eat well, hydrate, and meditate. Here is that you're supposed to be focused, efficient, and productive. This actually requires being in shape, both mentally and physically. Now you will need stamina and nourishment to make it through an optimized work day. Kugamba bawetaaga nobango ina stamina yo nga kweri bulungi nnyo, because buli woli obulungi ne hydration. What we talk about hydration is drinking, making sure you hydrate your body by drinking good amounts of water, and also eating healthy foods. That means you're supposed to also get rid of the junk fast, and also meditation that you're mentioning about.
Yes, very well, because you cannot sleep, I think, when you've not eaten, or not, I don't want to say eaten well, because we have different
perspective of
really
who is eating well. Yes.
What do we eat well? What determines eating well? For example, for you, I've eaten well, I'm okay, this is fine for me. How do you eat well?
Now, you see, in my perspective, regardless of health factors, ebiseera ebisinga ogamba nti ndidde bulungi, ng'ogenze n'ogamba kandye ekikoko kyange bulungi nga kiriko ka greens nga kiheavy. But when it comes to the health factors, olina olya ng'olina nutrients ezimala, n'olya ku carbohydrates, n'olya ku vegetables.
You're bringing in those things of eating 500 many calories.
Owulira nti ndidde n'enzigumira nga ndidde ekikoko, ndidde ekinyama kyange.
That is your eating well.
And in most cases, you'll find out if you ever have an engagement with the youth. They will tell you, leero njagala kulyako bulungi, ombuuze ye ogenda lyaki? Ojja genda olabe byagula, agula bi pizza.
Just like you're saying, there is eating well and eating healthy. What you're saying is just eating
for satisfaction and, you know, pleasure.
Eating for pleasure and leisure, maybe. Very well. You want a whole chicken on your plate, a whole
burger, a whole pizza, and you feel like...
I don't know that, but most people, when we say eating well, surely if you get any food, to me I think that's eating already. As long as you feel you have something in so
clearly when someone is giving
advocating for people to eat well.
When Richard is
chicken
giving
all the time.
No, when you're describing up eating well and, you know, that it's like, you know, when you find someone who is full and you've eaten so well, you'll be like, oh, today has been a good day. That meal was wonderful. So
yeah, surely. But on this particular note of eating well, hydrating, and then meditating, you need to make sure you have something in your stomach, because we do not want at least a businessman to go having ulcers, to go having healthy complications. Otherwise, how are you going to work, or how are you going to maneuver through the next day? Not forgetting meditating, like you were saying earlier, we explained meditating. But another here is setting a realistic timelines for you as a business owner. Now, as a new business owner, this one goes to the new people, new entrants in business or startups. Business can be production or service delivery. So as a new business owner, the amount of work that we could do is limitless. That's correct. But often we can get caught up into 8 hours a week becoming the norm. Weekends becoming work ends. I like this one. Weekends becoming work ends.
And it's the
so
new
that
trend.
basically you don't have any weekend for yourself. You're restless. And then family time, social life, or exercise becoming nice to have things at only 9 to 5 gets. That means this one is working timelessly. It is also compared to what we began with of getting sleep. You can just compare it to that. So people who, especially the startups, like we said earlier, you tend to overwork yourself. Do you know why? Because I have a target. Like, I feel like if I sleep, I'm not going to, be productive. And what I can say, how these people can find help, or how actually you can find help if you are into this category of people whose weekends have turned out to be weekends, like you don't have any weekend on your schedule. You can find help. We have people to talk to. We have planners actually in business.
Yes, sure.
But how many people, if you're a startup, how many people can afford planners? Or how can they plan for themselves?
Okay, by the it depends on the business that you want to start. Or even your friends can be planners. In most cases, if at all you have a serious, leave alone the friends that give us chibos. Go for trips and weekend trips.
Plan for you.
Look at someone who is successful in a business, because you'll still have to have a friend who is at least somewhere in terms of business. So those are people who are going to give you some plan ups for you. They'll definitely give you some plans, simple ones. They may not be that of an experienced plan maker, but at least someone who is already in the sector will clearly give you what they do expect from it. So with time to time, you will definitely tell that by the time you get into these engagements, and the planning that they will actually give you would give you more a clear view of chicho subira mu business eyo. So muntu wajja nagamba Rita, ndowooza oba planninga kola kano na kano. Nze bwentyo we natandika, so clearly ogenda ogamba kangezeeko.
I know we can seek all that help. We can tend to, get to friends and ask them about that. We can get the plans. But when you don't also have really what you want to do with your time, how you personally, you're scheduling your time, still it won't work out. Because even if even if you go to the consultant, even if you go to business people who have done it before, but then in your mind you're willing not to change your perspective of of your working time, it will also not work out. So first you need to be adaptive, I can say. of what you really want to learn in regards to any new entities or new ideas coming through with time. And we won't dive into much that, but also let's highlight onto another one here that we left out a I forgot, on the 72nd, where you have to cater to your own creativity, because I don't want to leave it out, at least I see it as if going with this timeline that we have. How can timeline and creativity be, underlined there?
First of all, when you have, if at all you're working in an environment, it means then you have some fixed time to actually do that particular, because according to your programming on a day, it will be that you're supposed to do these particular activities in these particular hours. But then remember, you will still have some free hours. These free hours are supposed to give you room to actually create creativity for your own self. Creativity means what new thing do you have to add onto yourself? That may necessarily add something to the business, or actually add something to, if I told you an employee, what does it add to your fellow workers or fellow staff as well? So with this particular, because they will tell us, don't let the traditional work hours define you. Because some people have a reason that if my traditional work hour is from 8 to 5, then after 5, I'm done with work.
Very well. So how can you cater for creativity? How can you create within those, be creative within those hours that you really see they're going to make productivity increase, or they're going to make your service actually increasing? I'm saying a word, and that will allow healthy competition among you and your business people that you're working with or doing business with. And speaking of creativity, when we do return from the break, we have got an engagement and discussion where we're going to have experts around that, telling us how we can be creative and innovative, especially in this time. But also on that particular one, we go into how I think we can, because when you can adopt creativity.
Yeah, sure you
But
can.
there is when you don't know to explore it. Do you know that?
To explore what your capabilities are.
Very well.
Definitely.
Just briefly
yes.
highlight on that. You take us to a break.
Before even that, I do remember President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya once said to the employees out there that these hours that you have at work should not limit your creativity. That by the time you go home, give yourself 2 to 3 hours of thinking out of the box and think something new for your life or for the outcome. Because when you're being employed, that means that one time you may lose that job. Then what do you have to offer to your children? So mainly about the creativity, this comes with what you have in mind. In most cases, we tend to oppose ourselves when it comes to the ideas, or we limit ourselves to what we can actually achieve. Someone comes up with an idea and they're like, I think it won't work.
Okay.
But then remember, if at all you embrace yourself and with what you do have, it is going to give room for your creativity to come out, and you will definitely come up with something that you would actually fall in love with, which will definitely give you room as well.
And for me, I can say that what I remember, someone said that one who dwells on their salary to do everything is doomed. It's not it's not a Bible proverb, but it's someone creative proverb.
Yeah.
And exactly that brings us to the end of our job maths and job tips. I hope this morning, for these particular minutes in the meantime, you have been able to pick something in regards to a tip and also opportunity for that idea that you've got. And when we do return from the break, we will also continue talking on innovation, speaking about innovation and creativity. This is SNB. My name is Rita Cabanyoro.
Smart 24, driving business.